Well, on, this is Kerri-Ann from Kerri-Ann's Cravings. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be roasting up a delicious herb butter roasted spatchcock chicken. Now this chicken is going to be super moist. It's going to be super flavorful. You're not going to want to miss this, so stick around and let's get started. So I'm going to start out by giving you a quick overview of all the ingredients I'm going to be using for this recipe. So I'm going to be using a whole roaster weighing almost 7 pounds. I'm going to set this aside for now and I will prep it in a little bit. Next we have our roasted garlic herb butter. This is homemade and I do have a tutorial of how I make this on my YouTube. I will link that in the video description for you. This is going to add tons of flavor to our chicken. And we're going to melt this down in a few minutes as well. We're going to set it aside for now. We're also going to be adding a few extra sprigs of fresh herbs. We're using rosemary and thyme. You can use a combination of whatever your favorite fresh herbs are. Or if you're using dry herbs, that's fine as well. Next we have some fresh lemon and some additional garlic heads that we're going to be using. We're going to be adding the fresh lemon to our butter and adding the garlic heads to our roasting pan. I'm going to be adding some carrots. I'll be adding potatoes as well, and I have it soaking in cold water to prevent it from going black before I'm ready to use it. So if you're prepping these ahead of time, definitely put them in some cold water and set them aside until you're ready. And I'm also going to be adding some corn. Now you're not restricted to the list of veggies I have here. You could use a combination of whatever your favorite vegetables are. Feel free to add them. I'm going to be adding some dry white wine. This is optional, but it adds such a nice flavor to the roasted chicken. I'm also going to be going in with some all-purpose seasoning. I'm also going to be going in with some smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika if you don't have smoked paprika on hand. We're going to add some black pepper. And we're going to be using some salt as well. I'm also going to be using some extra virgin olive oil. Now, you can use whatever vegetable oil you have on hand. So I'm going to be melting down my butter in the microwave on 10-second burst. You can also do this on the stove top. You can allow it to simmer until your butter has completely melted. Then you want to set it aside and allow it to cool. So here we have our melted compound butter or garlic roasted herb butter, and we're just going to allow this to cool and come to room temperature until we're ready to use it. So I'm just removing my chicken from the packaging, and I'm also going to remove all the organs and the neck that's sitting in the cavity. I usually cook them with the chicken and eat them because I do enjoy it. That's the Jamaican in me, I guess. But you can also save them for your chicken stock. They're great for that. I'm just going to throw off that bloody liquid that's sitting at the bottom of the bowl. So before I start spatchcocking the chicken, I'm just going to go ahead and remove these feathers that are sitting on the, I guess what you call the butt. I'm just going to pop those out. That looks perfect. So now we want to go ahead and spatchcock our chicken, and all that means is that we're going to be removing the backbone of the chicken so the chicken lies flat when we cook it. To do this, you want to locate the backbone of the chicken and take your kitchen shears or a really sharp knife and cut to the right of the bone, just like I'm doing here. Now you're going to cut all the way down to the neck, and you'll repeat this on the other side as well until the backbone is completely removed. Spatchcocking the chicken will allow the chicken to lay flat when you're cooking, and this will allow for a more even cooking, and it will also reduce your cooking time. And of course you can save this for stock, or if you're like me, it's going to be cooking along with the chicken and you will enjoy it later. Now there's one more step before we can start cleaning up our chicken. Now there's a bone at the top of the chicken right in here. Locate that bone, and you want to go ahead and take your knife or take your kitchen shears like I'm doing, and you want to cut into that bone because this will allow the breast area to lay completely flat. See how that opens up? So this is exactly what we want. So now we're going to go ahead and remove any additional feathers that are still on our chicken. We want to get rid of those. You're going to cut off any extra fatty pieces that are hanging around. I'm going to discard of those. I'm also going to remove this yellow coating that's sometimes left on there. I'm going to, usually on the bottom of the leg, like you see here. I'm going to peel that off, give it a nice cleaning, and then we're ready to start rinsing our chicken. Now, if for any reason the thought of handling raw chicken or a raw whole chicken just freaks you out, put some gloves on. You don't have to use your bare hands like I'm doing here. Okay, whatever makes you comfortable. So now that we're finished cleaning up all that stuff, you want to go ahead and grab some vinegar or some lemon juice, and you want to give your chicken a nice rinse. And also, I like to soak my chicken for about 3 to 5 minutes in whatever solution I'm rinsing it in, and then rinse it with some fresh water. So now that our chicken has been rinsed, now we're ready to pat it dry. We want to pat it completely dry, and then we're ready to add our seasoning. Next, we're going to grab our butter, and we're going to add our dry white wine to our butter. Now, if you're not using wine, go ahead and skip this step. So next, I'm going to add some fresh lemon. As it turns out, the lemon was too big for my lemon squeezer, so I went ahead and used the palm of my hands to restrict the seeds from going into my butter mix. So next I'm going to be adding my all-purpose seasoning to my butter. I'm also going to be adding my salt. And I'm also going in with my paprika. And I'm also adding some black pepper to my mix. I'm also going to be adding my olive oil. Now don't worry about writing everything down. I'm going to link all the measurements and ingredients in the description box for you. So now we're going to take our seasoning mix and we're going to apply it generously to our chicken. You want to apply it to the skin, the cavity, and you're going to apply it under the skin. You're going to take your finger and lift the skin away from the flesh, and you're going to pour our seasoning mix directly under the skin and the chicken. We want our chicken to be flavorful all the way down to the bone, so we've got to put seasoning everywhere. Now, if you're going to cook the organs and the neck with the chicken, don't forget to add them. You want to make sure that they are seasoned up as well. So while we're here hanging out and seasoning up our chicken, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you are first to be notified once a new recipe is released. And also make sure you are following us on all our social media accounts. They're all listed in the description box for you. Next, we're going to cover this tightly and allow it to sit at least overnight. You definitely want your chicken to be sitting in your marinade at least overnight for best and most flavorful results. So I'm going to allow this to sit overnight and so it can become full flavor, and then we'll get to roasting. going to be using a lined roasting pan. I'm going to be lining it with some parchment paper so our chicken or our veggies doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. You can use foil, that works just as fine. So now we're going to start adding our veggies. We're going to go in with our potatoes, our corn. We're also adding our carrots. And next you just want to spread them out so they're lining the bottom of the pan, just like I'm doing here. So we're going to add our head of garlic. We're going to cut off the top so the garlic is exposed, just like you're seeing here. And peel off just some of the layers. Sometimes it can be a bit much. So make sure that you wash the garlic before doing this. We always want to wash our fruits and veggies before using. So I'm going to add a few extra pieces of rosemary and thyme at the bottom of my roasting pan. I'm also going to place the other half of my lemon as well as the garlic head in the roasted pan as well. So now I'm going to sit my chicken right on top of my bed of vegetables. So now we're going to place our chicken on our veggies breast side up. And pour all that remaining seasoning in the bowl all over your chicken because we need all our flavoring on our chicken. And don't forget to add these pieces if you're going to be cooking and eating them. So we're going to drizzle some olive oil over our chicken, or you can use your vegetable oil, and then we're going to cover this and allow it to roast for 1 hour on 430 degrees Fahrenheit. So set your timers. We're at that 1 hour mark and we're going to go ahead and check on our chicken, and that smells so good. Oh my goodness, it smells so delicious. So I'm just going to take my basting spoon and go ahead and scoop the sauce generously all over my chicken and also within the cavity of the chicken to keep everything nice and moist and juicy and of course super flavorful. So once we're done basting, we're going to go ahead and place the cover back on our baking pan and place it back in the oven for another 30 minutes. So now we've arrived at that 30-minute mark, and you want to go ahead and check on your chicken again. And jeez, that smells good. We're going to give it a quick baste, so grab your baster or your basting spoon and go ahead and scoop all of that juice generously over the chicken. So our chicken is fully cooked at this time because that pop-up timer that came with the roaster, that little white thing right next to the corn has popped up completely. But I'm also going to use my my thermometer to check the temperature. You want to make sure your chicken is cooked at an internal temperature of 165 degrees, and as you can see, mine has now exceeded that. We're approaching 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So my chicken is completely cooked. So now I'm going to go ahead and increase my oven temperature to 500 degrees or whatever the broiler setting is for your oven, and allow this 3 to 5 minutes on those high temperatures until golden. We're going to leave this uncovered. I like my chicken to be on the darker side, so I wanted to definitely get a lot more color in. So we'll just allow this to broil for about 3 to 5 minutes more. And here you have it, my love, my delicious herb butter roasted chicken. Now we're going to give it our final basting, and then we're going to allow our chicken to rest for 10 minutes so that all our delicious juice can redistribute, resulting in a super moist and a super delicious roasted chicken, which is exactly what we want. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me today, and I hope you will give this recipe a try, as well as give this video a thumbs up. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, I invite you to subscribe now and hit that notification bell. As always, one love and stay blessed, my friend.